$1,500 monthly boost to millions of low-income Americans, and it's time to go from surviving to thriving. And the reason is simple. Look at this. US cities where rent eats all of your income, and you will be surprised. You know what's the rent in New York? Well, the average rent in New York is now $3,489. That is 166.1% of national average. Just imagine how these low-income Americans are living their life. A number of them don't even have an income of $2,000 a month, and this $1,500 monthly boost, monthly checks, or monthly payments will change everything when it comes to their financial situation. I'm gonna give you each and every detail, but all I need is just a little favor. It takes 2 seconds to please smash the like button on this video. So without any further ado, let's start the video. So let's start with $1,500 monthly boost to all low-income Americans, and we are talking about people who make $40,000 and less. Yes, it will change everything for these Americans, but you need to understand that it will not solve all of their problem, but $1,500 is a big stimulus to their financial situation because it's worse. And would you like to see an evidence? Look at this. Naples, Florida. This is the first city that I wanted to talk about. The average rent in this city is now $2,912. As I mentioned earlier, that millions of low-income Americans who rely on their income, and especially seniors who receive Social Security, SSI, and SSDI benefits, they are struggling. They cannot keep up with this inflation. Though on paper, everything seems great. But do you know, according to the recent report from Gallup, the prices of groceries are also up by 21% in the past 3 years. And the rents are going crazy. That's why millions of low-income Americans are homeless in a nation where we give billions and billions of dollars to other countries. A $1,500 worth of boost, or you can say monthly payments to these low-income Americans, will change everything when it comes to their financial situation. Moving on towards the next city, and this is also a wide one, Miami, Florida. Well, you know, the average rent in Miami is $3,019 now. That is a national average of 143.8%. Yes, this is shocking for millions and millions of people who live in Miami, and they're saying that, what's our mistake? And it doesn't stop here. Look, San Diego. Well, this is also crazy. The average rent is over $3,000 now. It doesn't stop here. Chula Vista. Well, right here, the average rent is $3,126. And if you would like to see the electricity prices, just rising like crazy. Now it's up by 13 to 18% in the past 2 years only. Well, this is a shocker for millions of low-income Americans, and that's where this really important $1,500 monthly boost to low-income Americans who make $40,000 and less comes into play. It will change low-income Americans' financial situation. It will give them a breathing room so they can pay their rent, or at least they can get a ceiling where they can live, or they can put a ceiling on the head of their loved ones. And one thing is very important right now. Whether we are talking about this $1,500, but remember, it's not going to solve all of their problem, because just the rent is taking all of their income, but it will allow them to actually put 3 meals a day for themselves and their loved ones. They'll be able to afford the utilities. And this new concept, new idea, or new plan of $1,500 monthly boost to Americans will actually take them from surviving to thriving. Then they'll have some breathing room. Then they'll have an opportunity to excel in life and compete with this fast-paced world. Well, one thing thing is really important right now. There are numerous proposals that are on the floor and no one is ready to vote on it. Well, when it comes to seniors, there are two very important proposals. One that is calling for $2,400 yearly increase in social security benefits. No one is ready to vote on it. There's one that is calling for giving $800 to millions of low-income Americans for at least 1 year. No one is ready to vote on it. But if they get a proposal where they need to vote to give money to any other nation who's not surviving enough in this world or probably taking advantage of United States, they are ready to vote on it overnight. They're voting on it overnight and saying it's our duty. We are going to fulfill our promise to that nation and its people. But what about American people? What about the low-income Americans who are struggling right now and they're asking only one question? What about us? Aren't we American enough? Aren't we human enough? And that's where $1,500 under President Donald J. Trump will change everything for them. And we are just not talking about one-time $1,500. I've already made a video about a concept of $2,000 that will actually give some sort of breathing room to low-income Americans, but again, it will not solve their long-term problems. The solution is this $1,500 monthly checks, and this will change a number of things for these recipients and their financial situation, as I mentioned earlier. But it will also do one thing. It will make them afford the rent because it's going up like crazy. Look at this. We were stopped at Chula Vista, but the next one is Jersey City in New Jersey, and the average rent is now $3,129. Next city is San Jose, and the average rent is $3,131. Then Irvine, California, and $3,306 is the average rent right there. When it comes to San Francisco, it's going out of hand right there because the average rent is now $3,368. How many people do you know who make $3,368? Well, just the rent is this amount. What about the other expenses? And now, even if you want to get food stamps, it's really difficult to get food stamps. Why? Because a number of people now have to follow a 80-hour work rule. That is 80 hours a month you need to work in order to get food stamps. Things are changing very shockingly for millions of low-income Americans. Moving on with New York, as I mentioned earlier, $3,489 is the average rent. Can you imagine? Over $3,000 means almost at $3,500 is a rent of an apartment in New York. Moving on with Boston, and right here the average rent is almost $3,500, $3,495, and this is 166.4% of the national average. Just imagine how low-income Americans are living right now. And this idea, this concept, this plan of $1,500 monthly boost, monthly checks, or monthly payments, whatever you want to call it, will change a number of things for these low-income Americans. So let me know in the comments below if you support this idea of $1,500 to low-income Americans, which will actually take them from surviving to thriving. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.